Welcome to the Industry Insider, brought to you by PromoCorner. Each week, promotional product professionals Meg Erber, Jeff Franklin, and Stephen McFadden, along with special guests, will discuss industry news, trends, and events with a focus on educating the promotional products industry. The Industry Insider, the nerdy news you need to know.
Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast, where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I'm joined today by two other lovely folks. But of course, before we get to them, we got to tell you about our fine sponsors for this episode, brought to you by our good friends over at Brentwood Line, specializing in chairs, coolers, backpacks, and blankets, a well-respected supplier known not just for their high-quality products, but also for their customer service. Brentwood Line values and appreciates its customers to the greatest extent, and they want to make sure that all of your expectations are met. So be sure to head over to brentwoodline.com to check out the latest and greatest for all your outdoor product needs. Tell them the Industry Insider sent you. Why don't we say hello to Mr. Origaudio T-shirt, Stephen McFadden. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Fresh off vacation, kind of getting over the post-vacation cold. But
nice.
Great. Got a sunburn on my back, which is a good sign of a good vacation. So.
Oh yeah. So I know a lot of people typically need a vacation from their vacation. Are you that way, or are you're well rejuvenated today?
I mean, I'm not going to say no to second vacation. So yeah. if that opportunity presents itself, by all means, yeah. But I'm good. I mean, I think when you take a certain amount of time off, especially in our industry where I feel like you miss 3 days and it feels like a month has gone by, I kind of needed to get back into the swing of things. So missing a week,
I hear that, especially this time of the year.
Yeah, I got to get rolling again and get back into things. And there's some work travel coming up too. So I'm like, yeah, I was ready to get back. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that you wouldn't turn down a second vacation, but how about a permanent vacation?
You know, I can't speak to that yet.
No,
I do know some that.
I hear we might have somebody that can maybe speak to that a little bit, or at least the beginning of what could very well be. We're joined today by Mike Szymczak, a co-founder of Origaudio, the last remaining co-founder of Origaudio, which is now you've made an announcement recently, I believe. And why don't you tell us a little bit, first of all, before we jump into the topic, about who Mike Szymczak is, how you got started in the promotional products industry, and maybe some of the news that's just recently dropped, Mike.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having me on, gentlemen. So yeah, getting into the promo industry, it was a space that myself and co-founder Jason Lukash, we actually were buying from a lot as an end user. So we saw a lot of it from that angle, which we knew how we wanted to disrupt it once we got in. So it was kind of unique perspective of, coming from an end user, hopping over to not just the distributor side, but all the way to the supplier front as we created Origaudio roughly 14 years ago.
Sweet.
And so Jack himself, I don't know, man, just a guy like everybody else out there, just hard worker as is so many people in this industry.
Well, for people that haven't tuned in for any of the episodes we had Jason Lukash on for, or maybe they aren't aware of Origaudio, how did Origaudio enter into the promotional product space? Like how did that company come into existence?
So Origaudio, early days was we created this folding speaker. So it was made out of cardboard. You fold it together. It pops up whenever you needed it. And this is like I said, 14 some odd years ago. And we were thinking retail. Like anybody creates a product or has a business idea, they don't think about this whole crazy $24 billion+ industry that exists. So, mine's around retail. And, we'll like dabble in promo and see what happens. So come out with this little foldable speaker, Time Magazine, tons of press that we got from that piece. We went to CES. And then PPI asked us to come out too. So let's just do this PPI. Let's give it a try. We were total noobs, as the kids on the street say. Like we didn't even know what coded pricing meant. We're just like, you give me $10, you have speaker with print on it. Like we didn't know this whole coded system or any of this other like EQP words or anything like that. So complete rookies to the space. Nice. And it kind of went up from there a little bit.
So when you did CES and you were invited to come into PPAI for the expo, was that before or after the Shark Tank situation?
Oh, it was about 2.5 years before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
you were already in promo when you
started. And I think was in 2011.
Okay. Awesome. So let's get to the announcement in case people, like myself, I personally didn't see it. And Stephen, you were very hot on this topic. This is very recent news. But Mike, what's just recently happened?
So this past Friday was my last day working for the Origaudio and HPG massive company. So taking a step back and just relaxing, enjoying time. And it's been, like I said, been a long run. And as anybody who has worked in the startup space or has their own, even their own distributorship, like it's a lot of work and a lot of long hours, a lot of long days that wears on yourself and your family sometimes too. So very, 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 very blessed to have this opportunity to even make a decision of this nature.
Well, your new office view is kind of disgusting. I don't know why anybody would want to work there on a Wednesday morning. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, two more, please, 2 more. Yeah, yeah. No, make them strong. Pretty nice. So
that's awesome.
It's definitely been a crash course in not refresh email, check text, check Teams, check Slacks. Like it's been a crash course for me. Like I said, doing it for a while.
Has it been hard to let go? I mean, I know it's recent. It's only been a couple days for you now, but
yeah, it's been 48 hours. Let's see. I probably still did like an hour of expense reports for my final expenses on Monday. I talked to my good buddy, Nick, probably for like an hour the other day. So yeah, it hasn't been a full like, relaxation kind of situation just yet, but trying steadily trying.
Nice. Stephen, I know you've got some questions about sort of the inception of Origaudio and how that goal or vision sort of manifested throughout.
I remember so we first met, I think it was at an ASI Orlando show like 2 years prior to the Shark Tank biz, or maybe 2.5 years, like as you mentioned.
Yeah, you were like 17 using like a work permit or something like that.
What's that?
You were like 17, like on like a work permit.
I think I was. I was there, like just attending with my parents. At the time, I didn't even know. I think at that time I was about to join the industry or go full into the industry. And I think it was the following year. Correct my timeline if I'm right. Where Jason was at a SKUCon and was talking about Origaudio. And you guys had this presentation. I remember seeing it several times before, basically just saying, this stuff is crap and this stuff is not crap. And like, we, want to do no minimums and full color and disrupt the system. Like that was the goal, because it was something that was missing in the industry. Looking back now, do you think that you guys were successful in that?
I think it made us successful, honestly. Because while we all know there's low barriers to entry in this industry, we had to be that peacock amongst pigeons. We had to like, hey, we can do this for you. We can do this. We can work with anybody, not high minimums, not, high thresholds of business, no red tape. So it was definitely a way for us to get ourselves in front of absolutely everybody, some of the biggest players in the industry, to, every mom and pop shop as well. So everybody was had the ability to work with us, which I think was definitely a differentiating factor, and something we still stand on these days. We want to be pushers, and Origaudio is going to continue to have that ethos. The team that's still there is still going to be kind of thinking of what would Mike and Jason do, and coming out with product and do product development and go to market strategies that way as well.
Good, Jeff. You have a follow-up? Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to ask something else completely. So if you've got a follow-up to that, take it. All right. Now I was just going to say, so you had said something earlier that was kind of interesting to me about, how you were sort of purchasing from the promotional product space and never really considered that as a marketplace for Origaudio. But because you were purchasing when you first did enter, you said that you sort of had a vision for how to disrupt it or what you wanted to do. Are you able to like go into that at all? Like what did you see in the marketplace that you thought you would be able to disrupt, and did that work?
So a few perspectives. I think first and foremost, we work for a company that had a 9-color logo. And this is like, like I said, 14, 15, 16 years ago when digital wasn't as predominant. So imagine our setups, imagine our color run charges, imagine all the like shirt, $5. Service fees and printing fees, like the invoices were absurd. We're like, what is all this nonsense? Because we had like a little bit of an inkling of, on the printing space, and learned more and more as obviously we created our own company. But just that alone was like, this has got to be maddening for other, end user clients and distributors to present this platter of fees to their end users.
Sure.
So that was, first and foremost one. Another one too is we would give away so many things at like festivals and events and things like that, where it's like, here's your white mystery box, and people are like, what's in this? Like there's just like no like, okay, thank you. So just having that retail packaging angle, which we were developing already for our retail side of our business, but bringing that into the promo space was, I think another great ripple of making us different. And it continues on, and there's been, I think it's been the new standard, honestly, that we set across a lot of other suppliers. And I think that's one thing that a lot of distributors have told myself, Jason, and colleagues, that they're happy that we did what we did, because it kind of raised the bar for suppliers across the board to look at lowering minimums and fees and upping the packaging game and quality of goods as well. Because that was the other thing too. Like, are you allowed to curse on the show?
Yeah, we do it all the time.
Okay. So like the other thing too is we want to have like the highest quality of goods as well, because you as an end user don't want to put your name and your likeness and your ethos and your whatever your marketing messaging on a piece of shit. Like then companies are going to associate your company and your marketing efforts on that POS product. So having something that's going to have longer ROI, last longer, and be a better thing, a better widget, is going to be more attractive to end users and distributors to put their name behind while their clients' names are on it.
Sure. All right, Stephen, go ahead.
So no, you're great. So early on in the, I guess, the origins of Origaudio, you guys kind of faced the decision to make. That's fantastic. The Shark Tank model.
Not rubbing it in at all.
No, not at all. You all kind of had to make a decision. After Shark Tank, there was a retail push versus the promo push. And maybe, I know some of that story, and I'm sure you've told it before, but can you kind of talk to us as to when that shift happened and what you think about the decision you made?
Yeah, I think it was about, hopefully memory serving, like about a year and a half or so after Shark Tank aired, because Shark Tank definitely opened up tons of awesome, amazing retail opportunities for that sector of our business. So we're probably still sitting around, give or take 60-40, maybe 65-35 retail dominant. But we came to learn, going down the trail of retail, like it's such a battle. It is such a upward climb year after year to succeed in that space. You either have to keep reinventing yourself, or the buyer that loved you is now, not buying electronics anymore, and you have to impress the new buyer, and he or she may not like said, good. So it was just such an uphill battle, where the promo space, also cash flow is as in any small business, cash flow is damaging in the retail sector. So you get paid sometimes 180 to 240 days later sometimes. So what else are you going to do with that lack of cash flow? But so yeah, the promo space, we all know it, right? We all love it. It's fun, it's interesting, it's relationship based. Like Steve, you mentioned we met 13 something years ago, and we're still going to be buddies for the next 13 plus years. That doesn't exist in retail. It's you're dead to me, and that's it, done. Then go find another store that wants to sell your stuff. So the promo space just became more and more and more and more and more attractive the more we got deeper into it and saw the potential from just like a business perspective, but just also revenue perspective. Like we're starting to like see some pretty massive wins in the space too, and easier to disrupt, I felt, as well.
Sure. Yeah. To your point about the friendship, I hear that Steven's going to be coming over to your house there and watching a Broncos game, and sadly watching them lose on a TV in the background there. So, yep. Cheers to friendship.
For sure. Any Sunday you want, they're probably going to lose. So come on by, Steve.
I will.
So what's next for Mike Szymczak? I mean, now that you've sort of stepped away and you're starting to just enjoy yourself a little bit, I'm sure you're going to just take some time to do much of nothing. But is there something else on the horizon, or are you just going to stay retired, or what's up?
Yeah, no, I mean, great question. I don't, and that's been asked by a lot of friends of the industry, right? I really just need to downgrade, literally just like chill, unplug, turn my brain off, not too much, but turn my brain off a little bit. And I have like a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So really just, continue to enjoy as much of that time as I can. And, try to be just an amazing influence on them and their young lives. And I've also just been battering around with a new word I texted Steve, like jobbies, maybe some hobbies that can pay or some jobs that can be fun, taking nothing too seriously though in the same breath.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, look, as a father, I mean, I think that's certainly you're at that best age to have walked away. I mean, because for me personally, like 2 to 3 was like the absolute best years. They're still super fun now. I mean, mine are 5. Actually, the oldest is getting ready to turn 6 on Friday, and 4 going on to 5. So it's still a ton of fun. But man, that 2 to 3, there's just that time you never get back, and it's really special. So kudos to you for being able to spend as much time with them during that period as possible.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that big time.
Yeah. All right, Steven, what else, man? Any other questions?
I have kind of a silly question for you, Mike, and I think I texted it to you. I've seen people come and go in the industry, and I feel like we all act the same way, like when something happens. And I was asking when your promo obituary was going to be coming out, because it feels like when anyone leaves the industry, it's like everyone acts like the person's dying. It's like, I used to know Mike 14 years ago, and he was such a good man, and we're going to miss him. And does it feel like that? Like, does it feel like people think you're like passing?
Yeah, a little bit. It's insanely heart filling. I think like Bill wrote an amazing article, and I spent some good time with Bill, and continue. I will continue to. Like I said, everybody's friends in this industry, but it has a little bit of that vibe to it. When, like I said, it's been 2 days, and I'm checking my phone, and there's no sales or on or whatever. But I don't know. The other thing I've been telling a lot of folks too is, and this is God honest truth, I'm like very, very emotionally and financially invested in HPG and Origaudio to be the best. So if people have any sort of issues, quorums, and feel like they need to give me a holler on something, call away. I'm still very, very invested in the success of HPG Origaudio, but all my friends.
Yeah, I know that was one of the things you talked about in the PBE News video you posted too. Do you want to share kind of who's going to be stepping into your role for some of that?
Yeah, for sure. So, and like, this is also part of my reasoning and ability to also, have a resignation of this nature, and timing wise is like, everything is operationally excellent. The team intact is phenomenal. So, it felt like everything was very extremely stable, and timing worked out. And I'm very, very happy that a good friend and big time name in the industry is able to take over the reins of the role, and nobody better than Nick Latour to keep that Origaudio vibe going while he runs the Origaudio and handstand sales force over there. So yeah, Nick, come on, say a few. Oh no, sorry,
that would have been
he couldn't make it today, but
he was in the comments though. He did say tank top Mike is elite.
Oh,
so
yes.
There you go, right there. So Nick did chime in.
Good job, Nick. But no, Nick, we all know him, right? He's been on this program a few times, and he's going to do so well in this role and with the added responsibility. And it's nothing new to him too. He's been honestly, co-managing the brand Origaudio handstands with me for 2+ years now. But it'll just be more of the face of everything.
So as we wrap up here, Mike, is there any one crazy story or favorite product or anything you want to leave as kind of your thing you want to share?
Dang, I wish I had more time on that question. I'll think of that one really fast. Like, the easiest answer is 10-4. The 10-4 power bank. Still, I carry 2 of them at me at all times when I'm traveling. So yeah, absolutely the 10-4 by Origaudio is a must-have. And also like probably the product that people like trade shows like, look, I still got it from 4 years ago. That's ROI, my friends. Craziest story.
I've got my thumper.
Oh yeah, thump away, brother. Oh man. Maybe I'll chat into the Facebook page later on craziest story, but I mean it's been a wild freaking ride, as you guys can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
from the startup, literally like out of my basement in Chicago to, moving offices every 2 years in California because we kept growing and doubling in size. To being at Quiet by HPG, 4 or 5 years ago, it's just been every moment of it I've been reveling in. It's been just I've lived like 3 lifetimes over just in this journey with Origaudio.
Am I crazy to think that your original name was Origami Audio before it was Original Audio? Is that right?
You are nailing it. Yes, because the folding speakers, it was the Origami of Audio. It was actually a tagline under the old logo with 2 speaker boxes on either side.
Yeah.
And then
the Chinese box recreation.
Original Audio, which people butcher to, like original to you, but it's definitely not. And many people make this mistake. It's definitely not Orgy Audio, which many people say.
I do not, but let's get that out of the way. That
I mean, listen.
Was it the Doodle? Was that the next one that came after with the send in your pictures on the screen one? It had that little metal flip.
Oh, yeah.
The
Doodle, the third product. So Fold and Play, Rocket, Doodle, Cubicool, which is another great one too. Where you could everybody could like send in their own pictures and pictures of like their dogs. And there's a crazy story about that, but we can't talk about that one probably on air of some artwork that was sent in, a few pieces of artwork that were sent in. So that was definitely, 13 years ago. Pretty crazy. Interesting.
Let your mind wander with that one, I guess, huh?
Yeah. And then I know you had all the experience, obviously, with previous companies and obviously the Jan Sports days and stuff, which helped you guys evolve the product line to, what it is with experience and things. I mean, it's awesome to see the evolution of the brand and the products and made some amazing things. And it's going to continue long after you're gone, which I think is the legacy you guys will leave on the industry, which is awesome.
Exactly, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Mike, I really appreciate you coming on to sort of share the news with us and talk us through a little bit of the Origaudio story. And man, I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully you get plenty of pool time over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to take Steve's advice and wear sunblock a little bit more. So
a little more.
Yeah, no burn.
That's probably a good idea. All right. Well, listen, guys, definitely had a good time chatting with you, and until next time, we'll be seeing you. All right. Take it easy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of PromoCorner's Industry Insider. For more great content from industry thought leaders, including podcasts, blogs, and videos, visit PromoCorner.com.